All right, so today we are going to divide a decimal by a decimal and talk about and review how we do that. So, how do we do a decimal division problem like 6.85 divided by 0.5? Well, we already know how to divide a decimal by a whole number, and it was pretty easy. So let's turn these problems into the easy kind. How do we do that? It looks like it's just a trick, but I'll show you why and how it works. So let's divide 6.85 divided by 0.5. So first you have to set it up. You set it up by putting the 6.85 inside of the division box and put the 0.5 outside of the division box. And then we can't divide decimals, so you have to move the decimals to the right on both until you are dividing by a whole number, like so. Since 0.5, you have to move the decimal point over one place so that it turns out being 5 points, so it's a whole number, and 68.5. But we don't need this decimal point anymore, so let's get rid of it. So it becomes 68.5 divided by 5. Now we can go for it. 5 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtracting, you get 1. Then bring down that 8. 5 goes into 18 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtracting, you get 3. And then you need to bring up the decimal point just straight up and then bring down that 5. 5 now goes into 35 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract and you get 0, which is fantastic because that's what we want anyways. So we can conclude that 6.85 divided by 0.5 equals 13.7. So remember, you can check this by multiplying our new quotient by one of the factors. 13.7 times 0.5 equals 6.85. So you can check this by multiplying backwards. Okay, so why does this work? Well, let's write the last problem as a fraction. Here's why this works. 6.85 divided by 0.5. That division symbol can be replaced with a fraction bar. Remember that division symbol and the fraction bar both mean the same thing. It becomes 6.85 over 0.5. And then can we multiply this fraction by 1 and not change its value? Yep. How about if we multiply by a magic 1, meaning 10 over 10. 10 over 10 is the same thing as 10 divided by 10, which is the same thing as 1. So I'm going to take this and multiply it by 6.85 over 0.5 just to rewrite it a little bit, which we can do. It works. So 6.85 over 0.5. Take that original fraction, and we're going to multiply it by 10 over 10. 10 over 10 is just 1, so it doesn't do anything to the problem. When you multiply straight across, 6.85 times 10 is 68.5, and 0.5 times 10 is 5, which is nice because now we have a whole number in our denominator. Just moving both decimals to the right is the same thing as dividing by a whole number. It's the same thing as multiplying by the magic 1. So before, when we moved that decimal over in 0.5 and got 68.5 divided by 5, that's the same thing as multiplying by 10 over 10, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1. We're not doing anything to change the numbers at all. Don't believe me? Well, here's another one. Let's try to divide 7.5 by 0.25. Okay, different problem, same idea. Let's go ahead and set it up. Remember, when you set it up, you take the first number, 7.5, put it inside of your division box. Take the second number, 0.25, put it outside of your division box. Okay, we can't really divide by decimals. It doesn't work that way. So what we need to do is we need to move the decimals over until the number that is outside the box has no decimals inside of it anymore. So we're going to move our decimal points over 2 places. Now, if you ever have a number that when you move it over 2 places, it leaves a blank spot, you just add a 0 in that blank spot. It doesn't do anything to change the number, you're just adding a placeholder. And then when you get rid of that unnecessary decimal point with 0.25, you end up getting 750 on the inside, because remember that decimal point moved over 2 places, and 25 on the outside, because that decimal point moved over 2 places as well. Hey, there aren't even any decimals left in this one, which is really nice. So when we go ahead and divide and go for it, we start with a 25. Does 25 go into 7? No. Does 25 go into 75? Yes. 3 times. 3 times 25 is 75. Subtract and you get 0. Now, a lot of you are going to stop there because we ended with 0, but you can't. There's one more 0 that's left that you still have to bring down. Now, 25 goes into 0 times. This is an easy one. 0 times 25 gives me 0. So when I subtract, I'm left with 0. And since there's nothing else to bring down, now I am done and can have a smiley face. So in conclusion, 7.5 divided by 0.25 equals 30. Always remember what division means and think about what your answers are. So this problem basically means how many 0.25s are there in 7.5? In other words, if you have $7.50, how many quarters are in $7.50? Well, if you add it all up and do the math, there are 30. So think about it. When you get your answer, does this answer make sense?